Yeah. About to say something so crazy. Lots of water. Share it to the Facebook. Let's hit the road. I think I got pretty much everything I need. I don't gotta stop at any stores or anything like that. We just gonna head straight to the crib. Normally Thursdays is Dirty Thursdays. I completely forgot. I was a little discombobulated because we had Monday was off, and just these last couple of days, it's not that work has been busy. It's just that I've been getting a couple of deliveries that are kind of far from my job. So we try to we're off at 4 o'clock, but we try to get back at 2:30, 3 o'clock max at the base, and it was just no way that was gonna happen both of these days. I got back like at 4 both days, so my mind was off, and then I guess like a lot of the stuff that I have been listening to for the past few days have influenced. I think I killed a bird, yo. Damn, I killed a bird. Damn it, I didn't mean to kill a bird. It did not want to move at all. Damn. It was literally, usually birds got quick reaction. Like you're driving down the road, they're there, and they just move out the way. Maybe it was a young baby, but I thought it would surely fly away as I approached it. And I don't think I rolled it over, but I definitely hit it. It was on the ground, and it was kind of flapping, man. So I feel kind of bad. Didn't mean to do that, but it's a small animal in the road. You don't serve. I remember I was dating this girl years ago. In my player days, when I was in college back in like '99, and she stayed over the crib or whatever, and then she left the next day, or whatever, and then she wound up getting into a car accident because the religion she was in was the Baha'i faith. Baha'i, it's like an extension of Islam, but they're very pacifistic, and they're very gentle with nature and animals and stuff like that. Anyway, she saw a squirrel about to cross the highway or in front of her car, whatever, not the highway, whatever route I think she was on Route 6 or something like that. Anybody know about Route 6 in Connecticut, you already know it's dangerous. So she went to turn, and then I don't know if she flipped the car over, but she definitely got into a bad accident trying to avoid running over an animal. And I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm not swerving for no. I slow down for an animal, but I'm not swerving for it. No. Only thing I'll probably swerve for is like a moose or a deer, something like that. Especially a moose. Do we got moose in Connecticut? I don't think so. I know we got plenty of deer. We got deer, we got bear. Notice I'm saying it properly, so I'm not saying deers. I'm not saying bears. What's good? My bad. What's good, Lincoln Miller? What's good again, you say? No. Yeah, so it was like a quail. That's what it looked like. I ran over a quail because I definitely hit it, man. Because when I look back, it was flapping its wings, and it was like, you know what I mean? It was trying to struggle. It was in pain. Now that just kind of like, I'm not violent towards anything, you know what I'm saying? But like towards animals, little defenseless animals and stuff like that, man. But that's just a metaphor for life. You got to be, even the bird, you got to be conscious and aware of your surroundings, and you got to know if you're in the right atmosphere and habitat. Like a bird should not be in the middle of black asphalt street. You shouldn't be sitting in the middle of the street where these large, huge vehicles are coming back. They don't know no better. I think it was a young bird. It had to be, man. Hopefully I didn't, there's no structural damage. Hopefully I just rolled over it, but it did, like, nothing hit it and it just kind of knocked it around, well, because it definitely was flapping and moving, but it was not flying at all. Or it could have been hurt. The reason why it was in the street, it could have already been hurt. You know, maybe we'll just go with that. Maybe we'll just go with the bird was already hurt and I rolled over it and I'm just running wild with my imagination in the negative sense. Because it's still alive. That I know. And I've seen situations where birds get hit, animals get hit, they get their bell rung. But, you know, luckily there's no structural damage. They shake that off and they just fly away. I've seen that happen with mammals. I've seen it happen with flies and bees. And you knock a bee down and be all dizzy or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily kill it. You just get the bee out of my way. You know, the bee, his bell got rung. You know what I'm saying? He had to wait for the standing 8 count and then he goes away. So, because my intention was not to harm that bird or kill that bird at all. That was not my intention. It was a pretty bird too, man. It wasn't like a dirty pigeon. It had like a green coat and like this neck area was kind of like brownish. You know what I'm saying? And little spots of white. It was a pretty little fat bird, man. You know, but we just gonna go with it. Survived. I rolled over it. You know what I'm saying? The wind or like the suction from under my car probably pulled it. You know, like maybe you know, it's just like, you ever have somebody drive real fast past your car and you can feel the G forces from the other car and they shake you up? Now imagine you're a tiny, tiny bird, no bigger than my fist, and you're under this huge 2,000-pound vehicle, rolls over you with wind and speed. You know what I'm saying? It's going. If a motorcycle or a car driving past another car that's 2,000 pounds drive past me real fast, I can feel the G forces and it makes my car shake, then damn sure, if you're a little tiny bird that weigh a few ounces, barely weigh a pound, and something drives over your head that's 2,000 pounds, yeah, man, it's going to move you around a little bit. So I'm just going with, I didn't kill the bird. Bird's okay. Hopefully when I drive by there tomorrow, I'll see a dead bird in the street. I'm gonna give you guys an update on tomorrow night's show, tomorrow evening show. What the hell? I think my phone is damaged. Uh-oh. Let me check something. Yeah, I think my phone is damaged, man. Let me check something, guys. Coming back. Nah, my phone is just something is going on with YouTube where I'm seeing some type of distortion. Let me know if you guys see like a distortion over my lips. It's like something purple. Something going on with this, but whatever, man. As long as my phone is good, we straight. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna drive. When I go to work tomorrow, I'm gonna be conscious of this bird. Hopefully it flew away, you know. Hopefully it's just not there. If it's not there, I'm gonna have the most positive thought in my head as to what happened. Because I don't know what happened. And this is the thing. A lot of times we think of the possibility of something. We have no idea what the outcome was of something. And a lot of times we always, I don't know why, but we just have a tendency to formulate the most negative outcome. And that is purely a choice. Why we think that way, it could be conditioning, it could be the way we were brought up, it could be based on past experiences. But every now and again, you are allowed to have positive outcomes to situations where you don't necessarily know the outcome. Mentally, you can invent positive outcomes. I could say, oh, I think I took that bird's life. Or I could say, nah, the bird just got shooken up and he flew away. I just didn't see it. It's all of my choice. What do I choose to entertain? Because I don't know the answer to this. So if you don't necessarily know the answer to a certain situation, and especially if it really holds no bearing on your life, and if you thinking about it, the most negative outcome only brings you down, and you continue to mentally choose to think the most negative outcome, why not think more positive? You're allowed to do that. There's no higher authority or a higher force or being telling us to look at the most negative outcome possible of situations that we don't know the answer to, or we're not really fully sure. Like that situation, me rolling over a bird, I don't know a lot, but there's no authority telling me to think the most negative outcome possible. The only authority that see that is my own guilt or me. Sometimes things do go right, even if we don't see it. Oh, you know what? I'm dumb as hell. I'm thinking that my phone. I'm thinking it was some type of damage to my screen, and all it is the comments. The comments get cut off at a certain point. That's all it is, man. I'm talking about an old man moment. Old man. You know what? This podcast stuff, it is beautiful because I didn't think I would have anything to talk about. Wasn't really like too motivated. Even the relationship stuff, I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and just that whole bird situation. I think I just got a lot of jewels and gems just from that one specific moment, and that's the beauty of this world. It's just an infinite amount of possibilities and outcome. You just got to turn that camera on, and it will happen. And it happened. I mean, we've done this 73 times. Quail is good eating. That's funny, guys. This is the 73rd time that we have done this. I legit, if you watch all my episodes from the beginning, I think from the beginning it started off a certain way. It just started off with me just only doing jokes and trying to and on Facebook and trying to interact with cats. And like the Facebook is too glitchy, and I just don't like the quality of the videos on Facebook. But the cool thing about me being on Facebook is I can have some smooth jazz playing in the background. It was good, Constance. My bad. I can have some smooth jazz. Shout out to Constance, one of my most loyal followers. We go way back since the poetry days at the Russell. I think I started at the Russell like in 2008. You know what I'm saying? And then between 2008 and 2012, man, I was doing my thing, man. I was almost a professional poet. Like, because poetry was very, very popular back then. Between Def Poetry Jam and Saul Williams, and that was the craze. Poetry was on fire in 2000, between 2008 and 2012. The way stand-up comedy is on fire right now. Like back then, everybody wanted to be a poet. Now everybody want to be a stand-up comic. But it's cool. But shout out to Constance. But yeah, y'all been rocking with me for 73 episodes, and I've been listening to a lot of relationship stuff, and for those that know, I'm actually in a relationship. It's funny because this is my third relationship in 4 years. In 2021, I had a girlfriend from May to like October. That's 5 months, and we just decided to go our separate ways. Still, we left on cordial terms. You know what I mean? Just when something runs its course, the two individuals just have to be mature to know when it's run its course. 2022, and then in 2022, around the same time, between May, June, July, between May and like July, I dated somebody in 2022. And it was the same situation. And that, me like rushing into that relationship, that was more on some rebound from the previous one. Even though the previous separation was amicable, there still was a void. When you're dating somebody for a few months, you get used to a routine. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you yearn for that again, and you break up with somebody, and then somebody else kind of offers that. A lot of times, without really fully giving the situation the opportunity to blossom. That's the key word right there. you just find that you probably rush into the situation. It's a rebound situation. So that ended 2022. Now, 2023, I had no lady, but I was doing a lot of frolicking and gallivanting. 2023, I was 44 years old. I felt as if I cracked the code with women. You know what I mean? Well, ultimately, what it came down to is I was no longer putting my foot forward. I was no longer chasing. It was going to be, hey, you either like me how I am or you don't. That's it. And I was literally just only focusing on people that rock with me. Like a lot of times, men or just people in general, when it comes to the dating game, we're always chasing people and trying to put energy into people that aren't reciprocating that energy, giving no signs. We're doing cold calls. If you know anything about sales, a cold call is you pick up the phone or you knock on somebody's door. They don't expect you to be there. And you got to pitch yourself. You just set yourself up for a lot of frustration and aggravation. You know what I mean? And I just came to the conclusion. I'm like, listen, I've been with enough women. Even though I had two girlfriends in 2 previous years, they still treated me well. Like I know what it feels like when somebody rocks with you, digs you, loves you, treats you well, and respects you. And if somebody just wasn't giving me that energy early on, I'm not trying to talk to anybody or holler at anybody. I don't care anymore. Because we early in 2023, what I did was on all the dating apps, I just put out there that I'm only looking for fleeting situations. I'm just trying to hook up, whatever. You know what I mean? And you do get people like that, but you just get like a certain mindset. And I think going on dating apps and only saying you're just looking to smash, I think it's just as bad as going on dating apps and saying you're looking for a husband or looking for a wife. I think you need a delicate balance. I think overall, the purpose of the dating apps is not about smashing. It's not about marrying. It's a faster way to connect with people, and you actually like have conversations with each other, and you learn about each other. And in some situations, it may be a fleeting, quick situation, and some situations may develop into something that you didn't expect. But the whole point is you have to have those experiences to kind of figure. I'm not saying you got to smash every person that you meet, but you have to have those experiences, those trial experiences, to get to the point wherever it is that you need to be. It all requires training and experience. Like if you're playing like a role-playing game, a fantasy video game, like I used to love this game called Final Fantasy. And when you first start out, your character is weak. You got the weakest sword, the weakest armor. He don't know no magic spells. So, and I think in a lot of those older games, you had the ability to go anywhere on the map and compete against like very, very difficult bosses. But if you don't take the time to build up your experience, build up your magic, get better weapons, get better armor, you're going to get defeated easily. You know what I mean? You're not going to withstand the enemy. So you have to take the time to build up your experience to have more success in those more serious battles. Same thing in relationships. I'm not saying you got to smash and dash everybody, but just talking to different people, getting to know different people, having experiences, seeing how this person is in a restaurant setting, in an amusement park setting, in a concert setting. You understand? In a park setting, in a hiking setting. You experience these people in as many different settings, around your friends, around your family, whatever. And I think that gives you the necessary knowledge and experience. So when you finally do have a relationship, you've gained a lot of wisdom that you can apply to said relationship. Because, and this is the quote, a relationship is like a garden. And how can a garden be made to thrive and flourish? You got to till the land. You got to make sure you put fresh seeds in it. You have to water it. You got to cut and prune, prod, put a fence around it to keep out the insects and the bugs and the vermin, spray it with the necessary pesticides or anything to just keep anything away that can damage it. And you have to continually do these things to maintain the garden. If you neglect any of the necessary things, the garden suffers. The same thing in relationships. If you neglect any of the things that maintain it, the relationship suffers. Now, a lot of times, especially on these dating apps, people make the mistake of they lead with one thing that they're not really into to get something that they really want. Meaning, a lot of women will lead with the freaky. You know, I'm a freak, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. But she's using the freaky in order to get a boyfriend or a husband. A lot of men will lead with the idea that they want to be in a relationship because they know that if a woman thinks that he wants a relationship, that gives him access to her goodies. And so you're leading under false pretenses so that when it finally comes together, the garden fails. The garden was built on hard soil, or the garden was built on sand, something that can, like you try to put seeds in sand, like beach sand. I never seen like regular plants grow out of beach sand. Maybe it does, but I never really saw that. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I've been to quite a few. I see palm trees grow out, from beaches or whatever. But I'm talking about just like, I ain't never seen nobody grow fruits and vegetables and tomatoes on beach sand. Because it's not it's not a good foundation to do it. Just like I ain't never seen nobody grow crops on rocks. Because it's a hard foundation. It's not a good foundation to do it. You need nice, dense soil that's somewhat damp. I'm like, listen, I'm speculating right now, but I can imagine you got to make sure you got your garden hoe or whatever it is. What's the thing with the claws? And you clog the ground really, really good. Get the soil malleable or soft enough to put your seeds in, pat the seeds in, put the water on top, feed it water every day, maybe, like the pesticides, let it grow, put a fence around it. You got to continue to do this. And that's the same thing with these relationships. Because you say you hated that dating apps. I can understand why, because there's so many dogs on dating apps. I hated dating apps too. But I actually loved them. I had a lot of success because I wasn't really looking for anything serious. There's a lot of phonies and a lot of BS. But I really believe if you word stuff right, have a nice filtration process, you could eliminate a lot of the nonsense on there. There's millions of people on dating apps. A lot of people just don't have the time to go. A lot of people just don't even like to go out, period, because let's face it, nowadays going out just ain't that, it ain't as safe. It ain't the way it used to be in the 90s and the early 2000s when I used to go out there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't the same no more. Back in the days, you see a chick dancing in the club, she got a big booty cheeks. You just hop up behind her and start dancing, and she look back, and if she throw the booty back, you got it. There you go. She interested. It was that simple. Nowadays, you look at a chick, they trying to scream me too. Matter of fact, you look at a chick and compliment a woman nowadays, she gonna tag you, say, this man said I look beautiful. He thirsty. I'm like, but you are beautiful though. But yeah, like I said, a lot of people lead off false pretenses. Like I remember years ago, I got this one girl, right? Back in 2005. 2005. Or was it? Yeah, it was 2005. It was because I started working at Red Lobster in 2005. And it was shortly after I started working there. I'm not going to say her name or nothing like that. But I used to always go to this bar called Piggy's. I was a karaoke legend. Used to sing karaoke like crazy. Got mad chicks because of that. It's crazy. Back in, I didn't think I was getting that many women, because I've never satisfied, I guess. But looking back on it, and I'm talking about I wasn't the best looking, wasn't in the best shape, nothing like that. Maybe it's my riz, as the young folks say, my charisma. Who knows? But anyway, I got a lot of hoes out of Piggy's. Yeah, a lot, tons. But anyway, this one chick, damn, I almost said her name. I almost fucked up. I forget what song was popular. The song that was popular was Touch by Omarion. Oh, baby, by the way. Oh, baby, by the way. Can I come and talk to you? Can I come and talk to you? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So I was the pop locking dude, like mad, just But so people like the fact I was a showman. I've always been a showman. So I was always the pop locking guy. I was always the guy singing. I was always doing poetry, or you know what I mean. I was just a showman. And she was a beautiful brown skinned Puerto Rican, giant headlights, no booty cheeks though. Booty cheeks flat as a board. This is another thing, fellas. If you're at a bar and you think a chick is really, really pretty, and you interested in her, but she only sitting down the whole time, make sure you tell this woman to stand up and do a twirl around. Now I understand why in the 20s and the 30s they told the women to spin around, because a lot of times you will look at her face, you'll see her cleavage, you think she's beautiful, you fell in love already. It's too late. But then when she stand up, the booty cheeks is flat, but your mind is already locked in. So now you're gonna have a flat booty girlfriend with big busts. That's what happened with me, man. I liked her already. She had a place, apartment, nice apartment nearby. Like, I went over the first night. I think I smashed the first night, but before I smashed, she cooked me dinner. Now I think it was just a chicken quesadilla. It was something basic, but the fact that no woman was really cooking me dinner like that the first night at 2, 3 in the morning, my greedy behind. You know what I'm saying? But the booty was like, she was a big girl. It's like, you know, she had the grimace body. Like the shoulders was bigger than the waist, but she had really, 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 you know, the breast was crazy. And so I started dating her kind of quick and moved in with her kind of quick. And she used to always cook for me. You know what I'm saying? That was the garden. Like, if our relationship was a garden, the thing about her that hooked me the most, because like, she wasn't the greatest look, she was decent looking, but she was a big girl. You know what I'm saying? But I looked past all that because I liked her domestic ways as far as cooking for me and catering for me. To me, that compensated for the fact that she had no cheeks. That compensated for the fact that she was big with a flat booty. Damn, that's just terrible. Like, I'm just thinking about it, it's a nightmare. And so her cooking for me was her way of constantly watering the garden. I enjoyed that. But then, when I moved in, she stopped cooking for me, yo. She stopped cooking every night. Switched up on me completely. The thing that attracted wasn't her sex, it wasn't her looks, it was her domestic ways. The thing that I liked about her the most initially, she stopped doing. And then it turns out she was a slob. The house started getting like progressively more messy. And she was a huge snorer. Like, yo, you know how the big gulp cup sound? Like the big gulp cup when you run out of soda, it's like, that's how, yo. Now imagine that, but times 10. That's how this woman sounded. So it's like, not only is you not cooking for me like you did in the beginning, but I'm noticing your flat booty cheeks and the fact that I remember one time she was snoring mad loud, and she'll snore deep and then have the high pitched wheeze, like, like it was a pit, like she was a sow. It was like a boar, man. But this is my fault, because I fell in love with her. Not literally, but I started liking her before I saw her stand up. Fellas, make sure the woman stands up before your heart gets into it. It's just like, make sure she has a vagina before you make love to her, unless you like that kind of thing, because you might be really, really surprised, man. When she stood up, it was almost disappointing when I saw her lack of cheeks, like a man falling in love with what he perceives as a woman, and then when it's finally time to make love, she drops her drawers, and it's like, most men would do something very rash, but a lot of dudes was like, bump it, I'm in love already, so we're gonna rock out. And that's what I did. I saw the flat booty cheeks, And as I saw the flat cheeks, she was like, I know my cheeks are flat, but I'll make a mean quesadilla with the bacon, the sour cream, the guacamole, and the salsa on side. And I used to drink back then with some Coronas. And I'm gonna let you smash. It's kind of Dirty Thursdays and play with my titties too. I was like, oh. So let me get this straight. The one bad thing about you is the flat butt, but the good thing is the big breasts, Puerto Rican, good for me, sour cream, guacamole, salsa, quesadillas, the chicken, the bacon, your own place. I'm gonna rock with it. But then she stopped cooking. She stopped tending to the garden, man. And I know I'm being serious with that voice or that cadence, but whatever it is you do to gain your significant other, it is like a garden. Tending to that garden is something that you have to continually do to maintain it. Like every day you get up, if you want to keep your teeth clean, you gotta brush your teeth. If you don't want to stay malnourished, you gotta eat food. If you don't want to get dehydrated, you gotta drink your water. Just as you tend to yourself, you tend to the garden, you tend to the relationship. I'm not saying I'm no relationship expert or nothing like that. We'll be next month in the middle of June. We'll be 2 years. But there's certain things that I do. Like I always made her laugh in the beginning. Now, she's a lot more used to my comedy. But me taking away, if I was acting like my ex from 2000, damn, I almost said her name again. If I was acting like my ex from 2005, who just stopped cooking for me when she knew she had me, that's like me stop being humorous. That's my girl once I realize I have her. No. Me being humorous is me watering and tending to the garden. You understand what I'm saying? I always buy, once a month, I always buy a bouquet of flowers. That's something that I do, man. Just little things. And it's a bunch of other things. I ain't gonna tell you anything. But what I will say, fellas and ladies, the things that you did in order to obtain your significant other, it's just logic to me. If you wanted to maintain, just continue to do those things. Continue to water the garden. Continue to feed it, plant feed and vitamins or whatever the hell it is. Get the pesticides to keep the bugs away, and all the vermin and the critters. Put a nice fence around it. Protect your garden. Protect your relationship. And when the fruits bud from it, enjoy the fruits of it. The security of a loved one. It's funny because, I was a man whore for a long time and I could sleep around and do what I want with no conscience. But it's still a level of a prison because, one, you have the prison of not knowing. You have no security in knowing when you're ever going to have your sexual encounters, especially if you have a high libido. That's a frustrating prison to be in. And two, you have the prison of not knowing if she caught something, if she gave you something, if she's pregnant. There's a lot of, yes, people think they have the freedom to just sleep around and bounce, and there is a level of freedom, but it can also be viewed as a prison, how you look at it. It feels good to know I could go home, make love to my lady, and I don't got to worry about catching nothing. I don't got to worry about her giving it away, nothing like that. I don't even think about that stuff at all. And it's not like I'm saying she's a pushover or anything like that. I just know I'm not doing nothing, and I feel completely confident in her. I think I have to feel this way. I can't be the type that's always jealous and worried or anything like that. I'm not jealous and worried because I love my lady. Don't get me wrong, but since 2023, when I had this epiphany about women, I feel like I can get anybody who I want at any moment because I only want those that want me. And if nobody wants me, then that's the perfect opportunity to not be distracted and work on myself. I'm going to win whether I have somebody or whether I don't have somebody. I said this before in one of my older videos. God, when he created the universe, When God created sentient beings, when God, if you believe in this, when God created humans, he didn't create humans because he was lonely. He created humans because he wanted other beings to appreciate existence the way he appreciates existence. And he enjoys watching his creations enjoy the things that he created. So I feel like the best mindset to have when you're in a relationship, don't get in a relationship because you're lonely. Get into a relationship because you're enjoying life and you want to enjoy life with somebody else. And if nobody wants to enjoy life with you, you can still enjoy life either way. So tend that garden, water that garden, love who loves you. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm not going to babble your ear off, man. Because as I always say to my young up and coming comedians, there is no such thing as writer's block. If the comedy gods have not given you anything new to scribe on that page, it is their way of telling you to work on the ideas that they already bestowed upon you. Stay away from the gossip, stay away from the rumors, stay away from the nonsense, stay away from the negativity, stay away from the foolishness, focus on the funny, and lead with love. Life is not something that happens in spite of you. Life is an experience for you to behold, so get to behold it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that bell notification so you know exactly when I pop up, which is Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. around that time, Eastern Standard. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful Thursday evening. Love as always. Deuces.